What we've got here is the Iwata Studio Series compressor. It's a twin piston compressor. It's got a small air reservoir which is incorporated into the frame of the compressor, and it also forms part of the handle. You also get with it an air hose, a regulator and filter gauge all in one, and an airbrush holder. The airbrush holder actually fits onto the bracket on the top of the compressor with a couple of screws that they've provided. And what you also get is a bleed off valve just here, which you can drain off any water that gets into the reservoir over a period of time. This is also a pressure relief valve. If the pressure builds up too much, then this will blow and it'll save any damage on the compressor. So what I'll do is I'll put everything together, put the hose on, etc., put an airbrush on it, and then we'll just find out how noisy it is and we'll regulate the pressure. I won't bother actually putting the bracket on, there's no point, but basically it just sits on the top there and you use the couple of screws provided just to lock it into place. Right, okay, I've got the airbrush fitted on the end of the hose. It's just a standard 1/8 BSP hose on this end of the connector. Here we've got a 1/4 BSP connector. It's got flats on it for a wrench, but I mean you just do it at finger tight because there's no ring in there to seal it, so that's okay. You can't get the gauge on the wrong way around because it'll only go one way. This is just a hand tight connector which mates with a rubber seal, so no need to go overboard with any tools at all. So here's where you regulate the pressure. So I'll just switch it on and you'll be able to hear how noisy this is. Now that's it, that's charged up now. So basically the framework here all the way around to the other side is now full of air. Now when that's used up by the airbrush, the compressor then will kick in again and fill it up again. Now this is a 0.2 airbrush. I'm running now at 40 psi. If I slacken that off a little bit, that's now running at 20 psi now. That'll run a little bit longer before it needs to kick in again. Now Iwata say that this will run at least a couple of airbrushes this size, any make. You'll have to get your own adapters obviously for the hose, but this should be good for a couple of airbrushes at least. Use it for custom work, illustration, whatever you want. As I said, the frame also incorporates a drain valve here to remove any moisture, and this is a pressure relief valve if the pressure builds up too high, just a safety feature really. The compressor itself is very well made, feels really robust, and it's quite a weight really. It doesn't move around at all. As you can see, I switched it on, it just stayed put. So I think it's pretty good. It should last forever, really. So basically, it's just the on-off switch here, and once you've got that switch down, you can start airbrushing. It says that you shouldn't really run it for longer than an hour at a time. After that, you should let it rest for about 20 minutes because it basically there is a chance of it sort of getting a bit warm. But I don't think you'd be painting for more than an hour at a time anyway, really. I'll just go through a few features off the sheet just to let you know some of the specs of this. Okay, basically it's a low maintenance oilless compressor. It's got a 1/4 horsepower induction motor, a 480cc air tank which is inside the handle. The airflow is 1.4 CFM or 40 litres a minute. The working pressure, you can go up to 60 psi. It's got an automatic switch which reduces the running time and motor wear. Moisture filter, pressure gauge, air regulator for air pressure adjustment. It comes with a 10-foot braided hose and a 1/4 BSP outlet. It's got a spray gun holder, and the weight is 7.3 kilograms. As I said, you shouldn't really run it for longer than an hour at a time. If you do, then just let the motor rest for 20 minutes just to let it cool down. And the noise level, it says 56 to 58 decibels. So it's pretty low. I mean, we're really close to it now when it's running. I mean, you'd have it on the floor slightly away from you anyway. So it's coming across as being a little bit noisier than it really is in normal working conditions. So that's about it. It's as I said, it's very well built. Got a great weight to it. It doesn't feel flimsy at all. It's got some nice braided hoses here, and it should last a lifetime, really. Applicable for all sorts of different projects. So that's the Iwata PowerJet Plus. Okay, I just thought I'd get a bit of a close-up on the gauge here. If you want to, when you've got your correct pressure and you want to lock it down, you just press that down and you can't move it then. So, okay, so we're currently showing 20 psi. So if I switch this on, it's already on. Press this down, you can see it dropping slightly. Now if I want to boost that up to say 40 psi, you should do it with the trigger down. So make sure your trigger's pressed down and take it up to 40. And that's all there is to it. Very easy to operate, easy to maintain, and basically simple for anybody.